Hello everyone, Meteorologist Jordan Darensbourg here. Happy Sunday. We have made it to the end of another weekend. Man, Mother Nature was out here stunting this weekend. I'm pretty sure y'all are well aware of that. And that is because we are in the lower 80s now, looking at mostly sunny skies. Could get close to the daily heat record for today even, which is 84. And that could be the first of a few days where we could set new daily benchmarks across the entirety of Central Texas, especially at Camp Mabry. So I'm going to real quick break this all down for you as we take a look outside. That is Lake Travis from the Oasis restaurant, and it looks really, really nice. Look at the sun glistening on the water there in those mainly sunny skies. Just makes it look absolutely gorgeous. Right now, Camp Mabry still at 81. The airport is checking in at 80 as well. And as we look across the entirety of our viewing area, some upper 70s stubbornly in the coastal plains, as well as southern sections of the hill country as well. 78 in Blanco, 79 in Gillespie County. Our warm spot right now is Llano, and man, y'all are really burning up. Y'all are checking in at 86, so well above your normal for this time of year. And it does represent only a slight increase from where we were yesterday in a lot of places. There are some areas that got around a 10-degree increase, including places like Burnett, where you had a 9-degree increase over the past 24 hours. Now, as we look at tonight, we are going to get a little bit of moisture with that south-southwesterly flow, and could have a little bit of radiational fog, especially along and east of I-35. But your lows tonight only going to get down to around 57. Now, as we take a look at tomorrow, though, we could tie a daily heat record, and this is the first of a few days this upcoming week where we could actually see highs getting to the mid-80s, and we could see those daily heat records fall. Could also be a bit on the breezy side tomorrow as well. Winds again coming out of the south at around 5 to 10 miles an hour, and could have again gusts getting close to 20 by the time we get to noon and around 2 in the afternoon, kind of like what we had so far today. Your algae forecast for tomorrow, we expect cedar to be low as well as mold to be in the high count. And you can find this algae forecast each and every day on kview.com and the KView app. But as we take a look at your February averages, we expect to be slightly warmer this month than what we would usually be last month. So around 3.9 degrees warmer on average we are in February than in January, so good news there. But as we take a look at the average precipitation, the average rainfall that we get, it's usually 3/4 of an inch drier than last month's average. So warmer and drier on average February than January, and the latest outlook from the Climate Prediction Center is kind of on par with that, especially out in the hill country where we could be slightly below average for this time of year, but most of us might be at around average, so we could have 1 to 2 rainy days throughout this upcoming month. Now, temperature-wise, most of the Lone Star State, in fact, all the Lone Star State has a high likelihood of being above average for most of the month, and that's where we're at right now. But that's not to say we won't have a brief cold snap that could result in maybe some snow or anything like that if we get some moisture mixed in with that. However, the chances of any wintry precipitation are pretty minuscule at best. Now, as we take a look at the next 7 days, we are going to break down the records one by one. We've got 6 more weeks of winter according to Punxsutawney Phil. Bee Cave Bob actually did not see his shadow, so we're looking at an early spring possible, and we're already feeling it, especially as we head into your Thursday. Now, Thursday, that'll be the day according to the latest 7-day forecast, because the record is 83. Look at that high there, that number, 86. Huge, huge chance that that record on Thursday is absolutely blown to smithereens. But we've got a couple more 85s on the docket for your Friday and Saturday. But then we've got a front coming in Saturday through Sunday. Now, by the way, that front's going to pretty much stall over portions of North Texas for most of the week before eventually making its way through Central Texas and then the rest of the Lone Star State. And just in time for Super Bowl Sunday, we only are having highs in those mid-70s, and that's our only real rain chance over the next week. So a very, very warm weather pattern. It had been quite gross over these past few weeks or so, especially with the snow that's popping in. But as we take a look now, we are looking at a really nice stretch of warm weather over these next few days. Now, I'm going to break this down for you with our 5-day forecast. And again, we are looking at highs of around 81 tomorrow. 82, which would be shy of the daily record of 85 for that particular day. But Wednesday, we're going to be just shy of the record. And then Thursday and Friday, oh man, that could be a very interesting period where we could be seeing highs getting to those mid 80s. So very warm, obviously well above our average, which is 64. It'll eventually become 65, but still we are going to be quite warm across the entirety of Central Texas. So by and large, we're going to look right now at our temperatures at around 444, and we're still at 81 at Camp Mabry. And again, the record is 84 for today. Now, it's going to be important to see whether or not we break that daily heat record at Camp Mabry for later on this afternoon and into the evening. Now, the chances of that happening right now, they look slim because Austin's been stubborn at 81, but we do have 83 in Marble Falls. And we do have 81 in Leander as well. But other than that, it has been quite warm throughout the entirety of Central Texas. So we're definitely going to continue to watch this. And if you guys have any questions, I'm going to go ahead and answer those here real quickly because I know y'all have questions. I know y'all are probably going to have questions about when's the earliest it's ever gotten so warm. So we're going to look up real quick to see where the earliest 80-degree day was at Camp Mabry. And we're going to see what we get because this is going to be a very interesting situation here. Let's see. See our answer. The earliest first one, ooh, we actually had a few New Year's Day 80s. So with that, we're not going to have anywhere close to the earliest first 80-degree day because New Year's Day was actually the earliest. And 1955 and 2006 tied for that. And definitely a very interesting next few days we've gotten. We're going to be well short of the mark of the earliest 80-degree day on record. New Year's Day set that mark, so we are well shy of that. As far as 90s are concerned, we are looking at the earliest first 90-degree day. If we're curious about that, that'll likely be on January 30th. So I think the best chance we would get to 90 would probably be Thursday, but I'm not necessarily banking on it. But if we did, we would have the second earliest first 90-degree day on record at Camp Mabry, and that would take place on Thursday if that were the case. So let's see. Rosario Manley says, I love this weather. David Alford says, too warm outside, LOL. Well, David, you say too warm. I say too bad because we're going to have that over these next few days. And I know a lot of y'all aren't fans of it, but that's the unfortunate truth and the unfortunate matter of the situation. But by and large, we have just been quite warm across the entirety of Central Texas. And we're going to look real quick to see if we have any more questions or anything like that. Doesn't look like we have any more right now. So we're going to show you that 7-day forecast one more time to kind of show you guys. And I'm going to go ahead and put this in a box to kind of show you what we're dealing with here, because we are going to get to the lower 80s tomorrow. We're going to stay in the lower 80s for the first part of next week. We do have a nice push of warmer air coming in for Thursday. We can even get to the mid 80s, which would absolutely obliterate the previous daily heat record with temperatures in those mid 80s by the time we get to Thursday. Maybe a light shower Friday and Saturday before that Arctic front finally moves through and we get down to those mid 70s for your Super Bowl Sunday, and maybe a few showers are possible then. So with that, David Alford said, dang, give me the 50s back. I mean, you'll get them eventually. At least that's what our 7-day forecast looks at. It's still 7 days out, so a lot could change between now and then. But still, it's very fun that we're going to have some really nice time outside. I actually had a pleasure of being outside earlier, sitting outside of the patio of Waterloo on Burnet Road, Really nice breakfast and really nice time outside, I will say. David is asking, who am I going for on Super Bowl Sunday? I'm going with the Eagles because Beyonce is way better than Taylor Swift. And I feel like, you know, America's tired of Taylor Swift at this point. So I'm going to go with the Eagles for that. Also, the Eagles quarterback is nice too. And they have the best running back in the league. So to answer David's question, there it is. Anyone else? Let's see. Let's see. Hello, John. Hello, Scott, Cedra. Hello, Daryleen, Irma Salgado, Kimberly Cleveland, Brenda Mwandishi, Ruben and Cindy Pina, Barbara Chamberlain. Hi. What's good? Vladimir Constans. I don't know how you pronounce that. Bradford West. J.W. Funderburg. That's a heck of a last name, Funderburg. I like it. But Jane Cooper, Jennifer Mendez, Abidagan Ashraf, Vila Sal, Laura Lemming, Nicole Robinson, what's up? Janae Riggins, I think it's Janae. Jerusalem Garcia Jordan. Yeah. So, Jen, to answer your question about the groundhog, we have an armadillo that we use instead of a groundhog, and he predicted an early spring, so BK Bob sounds like he's right on the money. To answer your question, Jen. Let's see. Lake levels, right now they are not looking too hot. Let's see what the lake levels are looking like. I'm going to go ahead and let's see if we can pull that up real quick. Kind of see an update on that because I know that part of it is important with the drought the way it is. This drought is an absolute nightmare right now, as we all know. Hold on. I don't think that's actually it. Here we go. This is it. All right. So we're looking at Lake Buchanan at 60, which is good, but Lake Travis is down to 44, which is not so good. But hopefully, we could get some good rains over these next couple of months to help fill those lakes out ahead of summertime. So that should answer your question, David. Jen Urban, I agree. Bee Cave Bob knows what's up. And yeah, he did, even though I thought he was going to see a shadow. I don't know how in the Mackinac he didn't, but he didn't. And it was perfectly clear outside, too. So that was very, very odd. Jen, we are looking at maybe a cold snap for the start of next week. It's past the 7 days, so a lot has to hash out between now and then, but models are starting to come into agreement for that to answer your question. So that's pretty much all we've got right now. We have a show in about 30 minutes, so join us there on KVU News at 5:30. We are going to have all the latest on your forecast and so much more, especially your news headlines. I know y'all Mavericks fans especially are your head's still spinning about the Luka trade. I'm not a fan of it either, and I don't even cheer for the Mavericks. I'm a Hawks fan, but you know, that's just me. But anyways, thank y'all so much for joining us on this Sunday afternoon. Enjoy the Pro Bowl because who needs a State of the State address and who needs the Grammys anyway? So I'll be happy to catch y'all up in the next 30 minutes or so for your latest news and weather headlines along with my colleague